The voice that you have is probably not your own real, true, authentic voice. What do I mean by that? Well, just think about it. When you were a tiny, tiny infant, the two things that you wanted to do more than anything were to be able to stand up on two legs like all these big people around you and talk like all these big people around you, because they made these interesting sounds, and it seemed to me that they could get what they wanted if I copied the way they were making these sounds. So the way you learned to talk was by copying the people around you. You copied your father, mother, grandfather, carers, whoever they are. And however they spoke, that's what you thought was the way to speak, and you spoke that way. And then when you went to school, the people you were at school with, the other kids, some of them spoke in a certain way, and you thought, well, I want to be part of the gang, I want to be part of the club, I'll speak like they do. And then you went on to study elsewhere, and then maybe you got a partner or got married or went to work in a big company where everybody spoke in a certain way. What I'm saying is that your voice is sort of a mongrel, because it's an amalgamation of all the different people whose voice has influenced you, knowingly or unknowingly, all through your life. And what we've been doing in this course, we've been making sure that we move towards a standard voice. It doesn't mean that we're going to change everything about your voice, but it is important that not only do you have a more controlled and more powerful and persuasive voice, but it means that people can actually always understand you, particularly on the telephone. Because on the telephone, they can't see you. They can't lip read anything, and therefore, if you've got any way in which you knowingly or unknowingly distort key sounds and key words, they may miss it and have to say, I'm sorry, what was that you said? Now, what happens if you're in another country and you've learned the language of that country? The difficulty is that people who think, for instance, that they speak perfect English when they arrive here from another country are laboring under a gross misapprehension, because 9 times out of 10, the people or persons who taught them English were not English. So they're going to learn to speak English in their own native way of speaking it. And so I've traveled the world and worked in many countries, and in Africa, they speak English, but it's African English. I can hardly understand it. In India, it's Indian English. In China, it's Chinese English. So when you come to Britain or any English-speaking part of the world, and you want to be taken as someone who can be perfectly understood, and you've developed a really fine voice, you've got to make sure that you speak English like an English-speaking person. And that is to do with not only getting the sounds right, but getting the tune and the tone and the rhythm of how we speak. That is also extremely important. So concentrate on R, A, E, O, U, Ma, Me, Me, Mo, Mu, and all the things you need to have good articulation and good English vowel sounds. And then you can be as English as the English. But you have to realize you may have an accent that not everybody can understand. Now, English is spoken by 1 billion people all over the world. They all speak it differently. And in Britain, people speak English very differently. Whether you're talking to someone from Scotland, someone from Wales, someone from London, it's a different accent with a different tune and tone and rhythm. And you have to be careful that you can modulate this to a point where with your new, powerful and persuasive and charismatic voice, you can be understood by everyone. So be sure to use the techniques that you're learning on this course in order that you can have a voice that everyone can understand perfectly.